dot anywhere you want on the top of the rail. So if you like it closer to your eye or further away from your eye, it works out pretty well. And it allows you the ability to put the red dot on the bottom of the rail, so you can just pull it off, fold it up, and stick it on the bottom of the rail. I've done a few previous videos regarding a Keltec Sub2000, and I had one a few years ago. The biggest complaint I had with that gun was that shooting it, the buffer tube is basically pushed right up into your cheekbone, and the little bit of recoil that it has is enough to really bother me when I'm shooting it, because the bolt reciprocates right under my cheekbone. Well, in this particular build, I'd set out several months ago to make this thing better to shoot. I added a whole bunch of M-Carbo parts to this thing, a mag pull hand stop, 45-degree rail with a laser and a light, and a movable quick release rail for my red dot. And the whole reason I wanted to try a red dot is so that I don't have to jam the gun into my cheek when I'm shooting it. It'll give me a little bit better purchase on the firearm to put it further down my cheek and still see what I'm shooting at.
Ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen, the time has come to finally figure out if all these additional gigas and doodads and thingamajiggies and doohickeys actually made the Keltec Sub2000 better. I did a couple of videos on this before Christmas last year with the laser and the flashlight and the red dot and all the M-Carbo parts and the Magpul grip and everything that I put on this. It's basically almost like the full catalog from M-Carbo. So you can go back and look at my older videos. I have the M-Carbo tube sleeve, I have a buffer in the back of this thing, I have the extended charging handle, I have the extended magazine release, I have A2 style muzzle brake on this thing, or flash hider, whatever you want to call it, a Crimson Trace red dot, no name knockoff 45-degree angle rail with a flashlight and a laser. I'm not really going to test the flashlight and the laser today. The main point of this whole video was the last time I owned one of these, having your cheek on this buffer tube really stinks because it pounds on your cheekbone. So putting the red dot with the raised scope mount on this thing gives me the ability to have a better purchase on the gun, where I don't necessarily have to have my cheek buried into it, so I can actually have a more comfortable position with the stock. So that, coupled with the fact that I now have a Glock which accepts Glock 19 or Glock 17 magazines, now I finally have the combination of a pistol caliber carbine and a pistol that take not only the same caliber but the same magazines. So I'm just going to do a few rounds through the Keltec Sub2000 and then a few rounds through the Glock with the 9mm barrel. Let's see if this thing feels any better than the last time I had one of these, just having that red dot on there. Wow. That is absolutely night and day different from how I had this the last time. Just the fact that I don't have to have my cheekbone stuck on this mag tube makes all the difference in the world. This is so much more comfortable to shoot. And I haven't really zeroed the red dot yet. This is the first time I'm taking it out with it. But I mainly wanted to see, is this thing actually more comfortable to shoot? And it is way better. The buffer on the back of the bolt and all the other additional mods, the rubber tube, but the red dot being off of the sight plane, so you don't have to stick your cheekbone into this thing, makes this so much more enjoyable to shoot. And again, being 9mm, there's not a lot of recoil on this thing anyway, but it is just so much more enjoyable to shoot now. And that's my flashlight. Laser, can't see it at all in the daylight, so I will have to zero the laser and the red dot at some point in time, but for now, just shooting it. So much more enjoyable. And again, the benefit of having a pistol caliber carbine and a pistol with the same magazines and the same caliber is I can do this. Put the safety on, transition to my sidearm with the magazine that just came out of my pistol caliber carbine. So now if you ever have to go somewhere and bug out from your house, you have a pistol caliber carbine, which is like a rifle, and a pistol that shoots the same caliber, uses the same magazines, makes bugging out a lot easier. You can take your effective range from 10 to 15 yards, maybe to 75 to 100. I still think a pistol caliber carbine like this is really only good out to about 75 yards, at least in my experience. Thanks for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I am sure that these cheap rails, which feel loose on here, are not going to last that long, but the gun itself is cheap. Actually, yeah, I'm going to have to tighten up the rail mount on this thing because basically everything's loose. These two bolts on the bottom are loosening up and allowing the top part of the rail to slide around, so it will need some attention, but at any rate, if you're thinking about getting a Keltec Sub2000 and you don't want to have that rotating forend, or you don't want the Gen 3 version, definitely get a quick release short rail with a red dot. Makes all the difference in the world. It's better than getting the high mounted optics on this thing. It'll give you a better sight picture, easier target acquisition, and you won't have to smash your cheek into that buffer tube anymore. Again, if you can get a Glock 19 or Glock 17 or something that uses the same magazines as this, they do make these in different calibers with different mag wells. Mine just happens to be a Glock 17, so I can take the magazines and put them in my Glock 23 with the 9mm conversion barrel, or a Glock 19 or a Glock 17, and the magazines are 100% interchangeable with the Keltec Sub2000, so you just made your whole bug out a little bit easier, a little bit better, with a more effective range. So thanks again for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews, and this short edition with the Keltec Sub2000 Gen 2 with all my gewgaws and add-ons to make it better, and the Glock Model 23 with the 9mm conversion barrel and Glock 17 mags that fit in both guns. Have a great day. God bless America. Support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, you remind them freedom is always the greater good. You have a great day.